Hello, denizens. I want to do a follow-up on the Critical Drinkers excellent video, Female Action Movies Are Dead. Girlboss Fatigue Killed Them. I've had my own takes on why women are just not as good as men in action movies. Of course, that's not all women, but here in YouTube land, punditry requires definitive, declarative positions, if for no other reason than to give commenters out there a chance to agree with you. This is no place for the weak, and no one can call the bombastic take-no-prisoners drinker weak. And while watching his girl boss evisceration as to why erstwhile decent, well-received films like the latest John Wick universe Ballerina and the Mad Max offshoot Furiosa failed miserably at the box office, I realized there is already a model that explains their failure, derived from the more prosaic, boring world of business. While many of you know me as the former network executive, the reason I'm former is that I left to become a captain of industry, where I built several successful companies. While show business has an aura of creativity that imbues it with a magical patina, differentiating it from businesses like sewage conduit installation, it's no less a business, and it's not immune to the same forces. Why do offshoots of popular IPs fail more often than not? To answer this, I'd like to present Exhibit A, a book I read way back in 1991 called Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey A. Moore. Now, I don't want to get into the world of business books, 99% of which are utter trash, but Crossing the Chasm is perhaps the best business book I've ever read, next to Freakonomics. And now, if you're an entrepreneur, I would go right now and buy the damn book. And and if you're needing something inspirational, read Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go, not the other stupid business books out there. The premise of Crossing the Chasm is, no matter how successful your business is, starting a new business that is an extension of what you are doing now must be treated as a startup. If it took you 5 years to get your original business profitable, expect the new business to also take 5 years. Now, it could obviously take less, but that's where your expectations should be. Siphoning tons of cash from your successful enterprise, or worse, getting a loan or investment money, it's not going to speed things up or even guarantee its success. You bootstrap the first go-round, you should bootstrap the second one. I've experienced it. I've talked with dozens of CEOs who have learned this lesson the hard way. It's kind of counterintuitive. You have experience. You have your connections. The new business makes use of your existing IP. Your customers are going to love it. But most of the time, that's not the way it works. You literally have to treat this new thing as if it was a startup. Do you remember working out of your garage, kiting credit cards? I never did that, really. That's how you have to think about this new business. And that's exactly what these studios are, well, they seem to not be doing with their IP extensions. The bottom line is that the main thing wrong with Ballerina and Furiosa, and Drinker did mention it, well, they just spent too much money on them. Just because the John Wick movies now cost north of $100 million doesn't mean you should spend that on your new female-driven variation or any variation. Furiosa made money. The problem was it wasn't profitable. The jury is still out on Ballerina, but it's not crushing it. The lesson from Crossing the Chasm is to start small and build what is ostensibly a brand new franchise. That is the only way to think about it. I think Ballerina is a good case study because it should have been launched cheaply to see if the audience liked the premise. In fact, I think stuffing Keanu into the movie was a bad thing because you now have a tainted experiment. It's neither fish nor fowl. The first John Wick movie had a modest, small budget. Reeves was at the low trough point in his popularity sine wave. It didn't make a ton, but it was profitable. Not only would I have made Ballerina on the cheaper, I wouldn't have included Reeves at all. His presence makes it hard to measure what went wrong. Was it because of Ana de Armas? Was it because we're wicked out? In science, you take variables out, not put more in. You can't keep throwing Keanu each time to try to save the franchise. I mean, he's getting old. Yes, Crossing the Chasm is a tough lesson. It took me years to build up the digital soup company, and it took me, the same number of years for my follow-up ventures to be profitable. But because I had read Crossing the Chasm, thank God, I knew what to expect. There is only one rule in business, and that is to do whatever you need to do to stay in business. Hollywood doesn't seem to operate like that. It operates on the leveraging of fear of turning down the next big thing, fear of spending an inhuman amount of money on what turned out to not be the next big thing. And this fear turns business people into idiots in Hollywood. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody is like that. There are obviously qualified business people there. The first Iron Man in 2008 had a reported cost of $140 million, not chump change. Now, its success ballooned future budgets because most of it went to RDJ. That's movie math. But why not make future superhero movies populated by nobodies for, $100 million and see how they perform before the actors' agents pull down your pants? And let's not get into the crazy budgets of Disney's Marvel and Star Wars Disney Plus series. Movies have always been a crapshoot, but studios mitigated risk by hiring qualified people and casting actors who could at the very least open a movie and managing budgets. Blockbuster IPs have kind of ruined that nice formula. And while I have no data to back this up, I can't help feeling that never has so much money been spent for so little results. Swapping out men for girl bosses is not going to save Hollywood. It seems there are few left who can manage the pennies and turn a profit. Ignoring the lessons from Crossing the Chasm has been the demise of many a CEO. Anyone out there crossing the chasm? What do you think? Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.